Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Well Life Wednesday, where we nurture mental health one episode at a time. I'm Cristy, your licensed clinical mental health counselor supervisor.
And I'm Iris, your licensed clinical addiction specialist associate. We're so glad to have you here again with us today.
Yes, we are. And today's topic is real, it's raw, and it's necessary. We're talking about mental health relapses, Iris, because healing isn't linear.
And if you ever felt like you were doing better and then suddenly you weren't, this episode is especially for you.
Exactly. So let's define it first. A mental health relapse is when symptoms of a previously managed condition return or intensifies after a period of improvement. I'm going to read it again. A mental health relapse is when symptoms of a previously managed condition return or intensify after a period of improvement. Okay. This can happen with depression, anxiety, um, bipolar disorder, PTSD, substance use recovery, eating disorders, and even stress related burnout.
And here's the key relapse does not mean you fail. In addiction recovery, relapse is often part of the recovery process. But we don't just apply that compassion to substance use, but we apply it to mental health as well.
Exactly. Healing is not a straight line, it looks more like progress, setback, learning, growth, pause, and progress again. And that's normal. You're going to go through
Mhm.
these changes.
Right. And some people thinking healing should look like this upward staircase. But in reality, it looks like a heartbeat monitor. It's up and down.
Well,
And some of us can identify it with that. And as long as
I,
there's movement, you're still alive and you're still healing. So the key is to keep moving and keep going
mhm,
forward. Don't get stagnated, but just keep moving.
I like that. I like that idea of a heartbeat monitor. That's one way to look at it. When you think about, you know,
Up and
the
down.
line. Yeah. So let's break down why relapses happen. Stress overload.
Hmm.
We all can attest to that. Stress.
Right.
I almost had one Fri- Friday evening sending out messages, work hours, talking about immediate action. Stress
Hmm.
overload. Major life transitions that could be moving, that could be changing jobs,
Right.
be parents, empty nesters. Major life changes could be anything. Trauma triggers, medication changes. A lot of people don't realize that and should really pay attention. A lot of times we get that when we pick up our medications, it comes with um, that package, right, where it says uh, side effects. How many of us actually really read it? And so we really need to take the time to make sure that we are knowledgeable about our medications and what those symptoms and side effects could look like because it could be effective and know it. Lack of
Right.
sleep. I can attest to that. For some reason, I have been waking up at 5 a.m. and then falling asleep really early, and it's throwing me off. And so, lack of sleep can most definitely set you back. You can have a relapse. Isolation, too much alone time. As much as I enjoy being alone, I know the importance of making sure that I do get out amongst people and socialize or come out my room and talk and make sure I'm checking in with people because being alone, you know, and that idle mind, that's the devil's playground, and it could be a setback for you.
Right.
Stopping therapy too soon. A lot of times people go to therapy, 2 sessions, be like, "All right, that's all I needed." But have you really done the work? Have you really, um, got deep into what the issues were why you came there in the first place? So
Mhm.
stopping too soon could be a relapse, especially if you don't have all the coping skills and know how to deter those, signs and symptoms when they come up. You're just starting over from scratch again. Complacency. I feel better. I don't need support anymore. We have that a lot with our clients, with severe persistent mental illness, especially personality disorders, people who are on injections and pills. Oh, I feel better, so I stopped taking it. And then next thing you know, we get a call from the hospital or family members talking about there's a crisis.
Right.
You better because you were taking medication and along with your appointments and your therapy sessions managing it. So to just
Mhm.
stop it because you feel better, you're starting back again at ground zero.
Mhm.
So there is um a time frame that you have to do this and adjustments that you have to go through. No, we're not saying that medication is something that you have to be on for long periods stints of time, but that's something in collaboration with your provider that you talk about and work through
Right.
that with them.
And even in substance abuse recovery, we talk about HALT. The acronym HALT is hungry, anger, lonely, and tired. Again, that's hungry, angry, lonely, and tired. Those states are weakened and coping ability, but this applies to mental health as well. So you can
Yes,
use
it
the
does.
acronym HALT: hungry, angry, lonely, and tired.
That's good. Halt. And what we know halt means the stop moment. You need to put a
Hmm.
pause there and check some things out, right?
Hmm.
And here's something important for our listeners. Relapse doesn't just start when the breakdown happens. It starts quietly with small shifts. Like we always say, there's red flags. We be seeing signs and stop signs and red flags everywhere, and we just keep going and act like we don't
Yeah,
see
right.
it or don't acknowledge
Mhm.
it, right? It reminds me of that time we was going on that family trip. Ours, I think we were going to Florida, and on the way there, all these things kept happening. The truck turned over, the fruit truck turned over in the middle of the highway, and we were stuck out there for almost 2 hours on the road in the dark.
Mhm.
Then got there in the hotel. Like it was all these signs that we should have around
Turn around.
and home, right? And so please be aware of that, and being aware of that is knowing yourself and also bringing your natural supports in to say, hey, this is what's going on with me, so if you notice changes, please let me know, or make mental notes or write it down, so that way when I go see my provider we can talk about these things.
Mhm.
um, Skipping coping skills, not answering calls, avoiding appointments, negative self-talk creeping back up. All of these are red flag or signs and flags that we're breaking down. A relapse is approaching, and so we need
Right.
to. You want to stop the crisis before it happens. A lot of times, we do something called a safety plan with our clients, where we say, "What does a good day look like for you? How would someone who doesn't know you know that you're having an awesome day?" And they answer that. And then we say, "Okay, what are some things that have caused you problems in the past?" So we know if that comes up, that that's something that we need to address. You see those things, you falling back into those same patterns or those same people around. Okay, this is a
Right.
flag. We need to put a pause on the play. Then we say, um, what is what is the best way for you to stop a crisis before it happens? So if you notice these things about yourself, what have you done in the past to stop it?
Mhm.
And then for those people who can't get it, we acknowledged all those steps and nothing's changed, and now we're in full blown crisis. What's the best approach to take when you're in a crisis? Are you someone who needs to take a time out and take a breather and relax? Or do you need people to check in and remind you of your coping skills or to ask you, did you take your medication? Because
Right.
you're wild right now. And so all of these things, it's a collaborative effort when we talking about mental health relapses and to make sure that you are yourself of what's going on and also the people around you.
And sometimes people don't even notice that their early warning signs because they're so busy surviving, Cristy.
Hmm.
They don't even acknowledge that something is going on. They're just trying to get through the day. This is what I have to do today to make it, and they just ignore those signs. Or, like I said, don't even notice the warning signs.
That's true. Hmm. Now let's talk about something that makes relapse worse. And the biggest thing is shame. I should be over this by now. I healed. What's wrong with me? I can raise my hand and say I've said at least one of them.
Mhm.
The inner critic becomes louder than the symptoms themselves.
Right.
The
And
inner
when that
critic
happens,
becomes louder. Go ahead. I was just repeating it. Go ahead.
oh, I was gonna say, and when shame comes, you often isolate, and then isolation increase your symptoms, and symptoms increase shame, and then you just there's a spiral. We're going in that cycle again.
Yeah. It's a over and over again. A lot of times we do damage to ourselves. You don't really have to have anybody else back there. So we don't have any problems doing that ourselves.
We can be our worst critic at times.
Hmm. Definitely. I tell my clients relapse is information, not condemnation. It's data.
That's good.
It tells you something needs attention, something has changed, and you need support. And I think those three questions right there, in whatever avenue, whatever situation we in, it don't just have to be your mental health. It could be a job, it can be your family, it could be communication, it could be relationships. Something needs attention. Something's lacking here. Something's
Something
changed.
needs to change. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I need support.
Right.
So if you take those three things and ask those questions in any scenario, you will probably be able to solve or remedy whatever the issue is.
And here's the truth: growth often reveals deeper layers. Sometimes what feels like relapse is actually the next layer of healing the surface. So sometimes what feels like relapse is actually the next layer of the healing surface. So you're just coming into the next. It may be uncomfortable. I remember you used the analogy about the scab when it heals. Sometimes when we have to clean it, when it first happened, we had to pour peroxide or alcohol on it. It may sting a little bit, especially if we're putting the alcohol on there, but we putting it on there to cleanse it because that's part of the healing process. You don't want it to be infected. You want to treat it.
Right.
And that's what we're doing here. You want to treat the things that we know that could be, like you said, hindering your recovery.
Mhm.
So yeah, you just want to keep moving. Don't
That's
look
right.
at it as being, like you said, condemnation or shame. You're
Mhm.
just in the healing process. Keep
That's
moving
it.
forward.
And there sh I wanna go back to that shame part. There should be no shame because just because you didn't say it out loud, "This is my struggle and what I'm going through," the next man beside you, the next woman behind you, dealing with their own stuff too. Some people just don't have it out on the forefront. Some
Right.
people mask it better than you can. And I'm not gonna have any shame about my healing and my deliverance
Oh
and
no.
my set. 'Cause it ain't gonna do nothing but make me stronger. Cause if I can overcome it, my gosh, watch out. When I overcome it, let me say that, when. What do we do when we notice symptoms returning? That's the question our
Mhm.
audience asks.
Okay.
Step 1, pause, don't panic.
Mhm.
Because the minute you panic, all your knowledge, wherewithal goes out the window.
Mhm.
It reminds me of that time, the car broke down and me and dad were walking to the house, and, it was nighttime. So we were walking because we weren't that far from home, and a dog came out of nowhere. And my immediate response was to run. Like I was getting ready. I was in mid, get ready to go to take my first stride, and dad grabbed me by my arm and said, "Don't run." And that was that moment. I don't, for some reason, it always stuck with me. So now in situations, we are in the community working with people. We encounter everybody got all these animals, and I just know don't run because that's where the panic set in, and the dogs can sense that.
Mhm.
They're waiting for you to see what your reaction gonna be so they can react to you.
Right.
So don't panic. Assess the triggers. Assess the situation. Okay, why did this just happen? Why am I in this space, this place right now? What do I need to do?
Mhm.
Step 3, re-engage your support system. So in the moment, if you can't handle it and you don't know what to do, reach out and touch. That's when you ask for some help.
Right. And
Because for one, go ahead, Aaron.
go ahead. No, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
We don't have to do this thing alone. You don't have
No.
to carry this by yourself. And I wish we would just stop it.
Mhm.
You could get out of stuff so much quicker if people knew that you were struggling. By the time you get on the other side of through, people like, "Where you been?" "Oh, I was down and out." "Well, I sure didn't know nothing about it. I ain't know you. If you had called me, I could have seen what I could do."
Right.
Suffering in silence is not healthy. Ain't nothing cute about it.
Mm-mm.
It does not make you
But
this powerful being.
and
Sorry, sorry.
sometimes it ain't really silent. You think you hiding it, but we can. I mean, people can see it and sense it. So you
Yeah,
might as well
you're
just
right.
talk about it with somebody. So engaging that support can look like calling your therapist, reaching out to your sponsor,
Mhm.
scheduling an appointment with a provider, whether that's your medical provider, your mental health provider, or restarting your routine, or being honest with someone that you consider is a safe place.
Yeah. And let's normalize this. Sometimes medications adjustments are necessary.
Yes, yes, yes.
That doesn't mean you fail.
Mhm.
Example, I used to have what's the headaches called? The serious headaches?
Migraine.
Migraine. Regular Tylenol after a while stopped working for me. Now you have to step it up to extra strength. And then over time, your body adjusts these things. So now you probably have to go get a higher prescription from your doctor. Does that mean I'm failing? No. It means that my body has gotten used to that. So now we need to up the dosage so that we can still function on the same level we've been functioning on.
Mhm.
You ain't gonna stay. Sometimes staying on the same dosage is just not effective.
Right.
And change, change, uh, change doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. And
Not at all.
I think that's what a lot of us think sometimes. Change. We don't like it, but sometimes it's necessary and it's a
Mhm.
good thing. So it's your point of view. It's how you look at the situation, really.
That's so true. And then also track your pattern. Ask yourself, what changed recently? What have I stopped doing? What boundaries did I loosen? And I often ask the clients this question: what has changed recently? When they tell me this is not working, that's not working, or this is happening, I don't know what changed recently. Was there a crisis? I mean, did something happen in your inner circle? Is something going on with you? I mean, what happened? And what have you stopped doing? And most
Yes.
of the time is they stop taking their medication.
Mhm. Stop going to support groups.
So yep,
Stop
stop going to those
meeting.
support groups. Yes, or um, these do some boundaries. They don't
Yeah.
allow that person that meant them no good back into their life.
That's
Are
it.
they hanging around those people that they use drugs with?
Hmm.
Those boundaries, you have to set them and be consistent with those things.
That's very true, Iris. Yes, it is. Maintenance is not weakness, it's wisdom.
Mm,
Can we say that again?
yeah.
Maintenance is not weakness, it's wisdom. So if that means I can't go to that same block where my high school friends hang out at, because I already know what's going to happen, what happened there before, it's wisdom. I can't come
Hmm.
around there. If that means that I can't go to the parties or uh the what they call trap house or whatever you want to call it, I don't have any
Hmm.
business around there. That's wisdom.
Right.
Why put yourself in a situation where you know it weakened you before?
Hmm.
Now, let's play devil advocate. Somebody might be saying, "Well, I'm stronger now. What if I'm going out there to go grab it?" Yes, but discern bit.
Yes.
There's other ways for you to go out and reach the people, the masses. You ain't got to go back in that area if you know you're easily tempted. I feel like you should have some mileage in the thing. Like you need to be deep into your recovery and your healing before you go back into those situations. Does that make sense?
Hmm. Because it still could
Here,
be a trip.
yes, exactly. Here are relapse prevention habits, consistent therapy, even during good seasons. Did you hear that? Even during good seasons, sometimes you just might need to check in. Make sure
Right.
we still on top. Sleep hygiene, emotional regulation skills. We talked about that episode 1, I believe. Structured routines, honest self check ins, and community connection. You got to have some connection.
And all of that, don't what you call it? What's the word I'm saying?
Romanticize.
Yes, about being strong alone.
Hmm.
Strength includes asking for help. So we already touched on it a little bit. It's
Hmm.
okay to ask for that support or even additional support.
Right.
So if therapy just not working alone, I mean other things going on, you could be having substance abuse too. You need to go to some of these meetings, the AA meetings or NA meetings. That way, it's supporting both your mental and your recovery.
That's right.
So yeah, that's
And if you're one of those people who don't like going in out into those types, there is a way
they
around
do. They have them
still get.
virtual. Yes.
So yes, you're right, Harris. Healing requires humility. Healing requires humility. If you're in a relapse right now, hear this clearly. You are not back at square one. You are a square you are at square 10 with more insight.
Oh, come on.
Let me say it again. If you are in relapse right now, you are not back at square 1.
Mhm.
You are at square 10 with more insight.
So at the, you at square 10, so start back using those coping skills you learned.
Mhm.
Start building your word awareness. Start strengthening that.
Yes,
Be resilient and develop um, relapse that does not erase your progress. So find things that, like we said, is going to push you forward, not send you backwards.
that's right.
And
Yeah,
we talked about knowing your triggers, knowing if you need to be around these set of friends, or know those boundaries.
that's right.
Again, I love what Cristy said. You're not at square one, but at square 10. But you're gonna have
Mhm.
to use those strategies to continue to move forward.
Yeah. And just because you had a relapse, it does not, like I said, it doesn't erase your progress. It
Mm-mm.
defines it's okay. I'm here. I had a setback. Now I need to go back to the halt that I was
Mhm.
said earlier and figure out how did I resort back to this.
Mhm.
And because you're doing the work trying to figure out how did I get back to this moment, it doesn't mean I go back to square one
Right.
because I'm not erasing all of that progress I did.
No, no.
I just
Here's a
had a
good
moment.
example, Chris.
Go ahead.
When they're in recovery and sometimes they relapse. Often, like they go back to how hungry, angry, lonely, or tired.
Mhm,
And sometimes all of them are just a few of those acronyms. But they get tired because someone has lost their job. They
okay.
was doing good. Either they got laid off, nothing on their own. They just got laid off. The company laid them off.
Mhm,
And that just sent them back like, oh God, what's going to happen now? And depressed and decide, oh, I'm going to take this drink
yeah,
and end up taking more drink. Like you said, that doesn't negate what you did prior to get the work done. We know what we need to do. When you come to me and be like, okay, this is what happened. Okay, let's not get worked up about it. They laid you off. Let's find another job. Let's find some more
mhm,
community resources that's going to meet your needs. And a week later, month later, you got another job and you back doing what you need to do. Life
that's right.
happens, but you got to know what to do when life is life.
Mhm,
Anybody can lose their job.
yeah,
So
that's very
you're
true.
gonna have to learn how to work through that without going backwards and resulting into those old habits. That's all I want
That's
to add
good.
to it.
Good example. Thank you. So here's your reflection question for this week. What early signs tell me I'm emotionally slipping? What early signs tell me I'm emotionally slipping? So I want you to ask yourself that question this week so that you can identify it, acknowledge it. So when it comes up, you know what to do.
And who is one person I can be honest with before I reach that crisis? So that's good to identify that one person that you can be honest with before you reach that crisis.
Yeah. Got to have that go to person.
Hmm.
And they should know. So once you identify that person, you need to have a conversation with that person. Say, hey, there might be times along this journey of mine that I might be triggered. I slip up, and you're the person that I trust, and I want to reach out to you so you'll know why I'm reaching out. And I
Right.
just need you to either listen to me, I need to vent, I need you to offer positive solutions, give some feedback, or point me to someone who can help. Those are conversations we should be having with people.
Hmm.
If this episode resonated with you, share it.
Please.
Simple as that. Someone you love may need to hear it.
And remember, healing isn't linear; it's layered.
That's right, Iris. So, to our real life family, we will see you all next Wednesday. Take care of your mind, protect your peace, and keep growing. Thank you, guys.